Reform Caucus Policy Chair, joining us to talk about the impeachment effort and more. Congressman Davidson, thanks for being with us this morning. What's your take? It's a 300-page report, but what's your take so far of the Intelligence Committee's report and the entire proceedings?
Well, I thought the clip that you just aired, where Adam Schiff said he's keenly aware of the precedent he's setting, or that might be set. I wonder if he was considering that as he was subpoenaing, issuing subpoenas for our colleagues' phone records. So when you look at the way that he's targeted private data, this would never hold up in a court of law. It's an inherent political process. What crime did you consider Devin Nunes probable cause that you had to issue a warrant or a subpoena for that information? And you see the precedent that's being set there: a fishing expedition for Devin Nunes, a fishing expedition for his staff, and you see in the Financial Services Committee a fishing expedition for all of Donald Trump's organization and family members' bank records. Not because of probable cause for a concern of a crime that was committed, but an endless quest to find a crime because of personal animus. That is a horrible precedent, and it's being set currently by the Impeachment Committee with Adam Schiff as the leader of it.
Those records of Rudy Giuliani, the phone records included in that report, as you mentioned, what do you think is going to come of that? Why do you think the committee majority, the Democrats, have included that?
Well, I think it's a way to draw inferences without having evidence. They don't have a wiretap because they wouldn't get one. They would need law enforcement for that, presumably anyway. Who knows? There may be a whistleblower that recorded the calls or something. But the reality is you have attorney-client privilege. Of course, Rudy Giuliani is going to call the president, but they can draw inferences and make suggestions about what might have been discussed. And that's all that's here for the entire piece. There's no there. The cards they say they had on Russia, they didn't have. The cards they say they have on Ukraine, they don't have. And so, that's why you see, Adam Schiff hedging and saying, should we move forward? Well, I'm going to leave that to colleagues. Well, he knows his colleagues are like, yeah, where's all this stuff that you said we had? We don't have it.
Do you think the president would have been better off to testify or have his attorneys testify before the process coming up in judiciary?
I don't. I think he should wait if there is an effort in the Senate, and he should give a deposition. I don't even know whether he should appear on the floor of the Senate. We'll see what the context are. But if you look at a very political, what most people viewed as a very political impeachment process for Bill Clinton, when that went to the Senate sets the rules. And at that time, partisanship wasn't so bad that they couldn't agree on a set of rules. And the rules that they did in the Senate passed 100-0. Does anyone believe that if this is referred to the Senate, that the rules for the process in the Senate will pass 100-0? I don't think anyone believes that.
Part of the reason we're having you and your colleagues join us this morning, Congressman Davidson, is not just to talk about impeachment, but the amount of work, the things that have to get done before the end of the year, the continuing resolution, funding the 2020 spending measures. You voted against the CR, the short-term spending measure. How do you hope this is all resolved by the end of December?
Well, first, I hope we don't shut the government down. I think we need to function as a country. We need our government to stay open. But I hope that, and of course I know otherwise, but I hope the delay is so that we can find a way to cut some spending and move towards balancing the budget. And in fact, just the opposite's true. They're squabbling over ways to spend more money, and it's not compassionate to bankrupt America. That's the path we're on. We need to change course.
The congressman represents the Westchester and Troy area, the 8th district, formerly held by Speaker Boehner. His portrait just unveiled there in the old House chamber. Congressman Davidson, what are folks in the 8th district saying about the proceedings on Capitol Hill?
Well, when you talk about impeachment proceedings, probably the best way to sum it up is everyone I speak with says, when's someone going to jail? Now, of course, Republicans are looking for when people like, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Andrew McCabe and whatnot are going to be held accountable for their actions. When I talk to Democrats who are at political events, they want to know when people from the Trump administration are going to jail. So the politically active people feel like Attorney General Barr has a lot of work to do and someone needs to go to jail. And I think a lot of people are just fed up with the whole thing. And I think probably ratings say that. People are just sick of the topic. They want to know, when is the country going to move forward and get on with governing? And that's really the task ahead of us, including keeping the government open.
Well, in terms of strategy, is House Republican leadership preparing members at all, preparing your conference at all for a potential House debate on articles of impeachment and a timeline for that?
Well, there's no timeline because it's not been done yet. But yeah, we're talking about it. And of course, we added a week of time here, the week of the 16th through the 20th, partly because the continuing resolution only goes till the 20th of December.
Right.
And partly maybe to make up for the fact that the Democrats needed a 12-day recess to go talk about climate change and how to keep the country committed to an agreement in Paris that the president withdrew from. Maybe we could have used that week to balance the budget.
That's Congressman Warren Davidson from Ohio joining us from Capitol Hill. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The Congressman mentioned the phone records included in that report, the phone records of Rudy Giuliani.